I've been dating Filipinas since 2021, and the one I got with now, we started dating in 2022, but then we broke up and got back together in 2023, and we've been going strong since. But in all of the relationships I've had, some challenges that seem to be common challenges in every relationship I've had with a Filipina. So today I want to talk about 5 common issues that I have found with dating a Filipina and how I go about dealing with those issues. These are important to know in case you're a Filipina looking for an American man, or you're an American man looking for a Filipina. You want to know how to navigate through these issues in a good way, in a way that's not going to tear you two apart, because you don't want something to tear you two apart that could probably be fixed through talking or through lifestyle changes or something. So we're going to talk about that today. But before I get into the video, y'all know what to do. Hit that like and subscribe button down below, because you liking and subscribing is the best way to support the videos that I do, and it's the best way to ensure that I'm able to continue to make videos like this. Let's push for 2,000 followers. Y'all know me. I'm Jesse. I like to talk about all things travel, living in the Philippines, and of course being Catholic. And recently I've been throwing in some relationship stuff as well, because I see that that's something that needs to be said because of how common some of these relationship things are across the board. Now, let's get into the video. One of the hardest things that I had to deal with was this idea of family. Now, of course, in America, we take care of our family too, just not to an extent that people in the Philippines do. And there's a reason that people in the Philippines do it like that. So, in America, we have a lot of programs to help others who get older and they may not have a lot of resources. So, we help them through government assistance on health care or retirement homes or nursing homes, things like that. You don't really see that a lot in the Philippines. And I think in America it was the same way when we didn't have all those programs. This is before my time, but I'm pretty sure that America used to be the same way when we didn't have all the programs that we have now. So it makes sense that they have this culture of helping their family and being there for those that they love, because they don't have those programs that can take care of their family otherwise. Be that as it may, I still have a lot of trouble with this, and in large part because I grew up to be so independent compared to most of the people I know, even in America. I am on a completely different path than anyone in my family's ever taken. I basically, when I turned 18, I had to run away from home, I had to get out, and I've been trying hard to be independent and do my own thing since I can remember. So I'm almost an extreme version of what it means to be independent in America. I don't ever ask for help unless I desperately need it, and that doesn't happen very often. There have been times that I've felt like I'd rather just die than ask for help. In the Philippines, it's not quite like that. In the Philippines, it's pretty much an expectation that you take care of your family and that you're always there for each other. Honestly, the way I've dealt with that is I've talked to my fiance and we've set a budget, and we don't go over that budget when it comes to helping people. We don't go over that budget when it comes to anything like that, because there are certain things that we need to take care of. That money doesn't get touched. And then if we have discretionary spending like on stuff that we want, we'll split it between her and me. And if she wants to help her family and we don't have any money left in the budget to help, then she will have to take it out of her discretionary spending for herself. If I want to help, then I would do that, because I do like to help sometimes, especially when we're having like parties or something. I like to pitch in. But also if I feel like someone is really needing it, which typically will come with hospital bills. That doesn't happen very often, but when it does, I really worry because the healthcare system here is not quite the same as it is in America. So that's how I deal with that issue. I made it clear to my fiance that that doesn't change, that the things that need to be paid for, which include the bills, which include business stuff, which includes anything that is a necessity for us to live and for us to grow in our business and in ourselves, those are non-negotiables. They do not change. There's no taking money out of that. And that's helped us make more money, of course. That's why I stuck with that. So I would say that's the best way to deal with that situation. If they can't agree with you on that, then the best thing to do, if you can't find agreement on that, if it's a money issue, is to just find somebody else. Because money issues are not good. If you can't agree on those, then it's not a good thing. Most of the time, my fiance lets me lead on the budget, and I tend to be a minimalist when it comes to buying things. Of course, I'm a guy, so I don't need a lot. I don't care about the decorations, but I still buy decorations and stuff, or she does. Try to do something like that. It'll help fix that problem. And if it doesn't, then you should probably find somebody else. Number two, honestly, the language. The language barrier is another one of the bigger problems that we've had. It's not been a problem that's really tore us apart, but it has been a problem that stops us from being able to communicate as much as we would like. Sometimes I cannot quite understand what she's saying because she'll say something in English and either her pronunciation is off on a word, or she'll say it in like past tense, or she'll ask a question, but it won't sound like a question, it'll sound like a statement. And I get thrown off by that a lot. It's not really a problem that's going to tear us apart, but it is one that makes it hard to communicate. And that's the problem, is the communication, because you want to be able to communicate with your significant other. Bisaya is something I'm trying to learn, but it's not as easy as Tagalog. Tagalog, you can find apps everywhere to teach you Tagalog, but Bisaya is a completely different story. And the thing with Bisaya is there's different dialects of Bisaya as well, so that makes it even harder to deal with. You gotta find the right dialect. Most of the time, I'll just use ChatGPT, and actually, ChatGPT does a good job at breaking down exactly what's being said. You want to make sure that you're able to communicate clearly. And in situations like this, you want to ask, because if it doesn't seem right, if it seems like it might be something that is bad, just ask first. Because if they're able to speak English, sometimes they don't fully understand like past tense and present tense and future tense, or when we ask a question, like sometimes they'll leave out the first word, like why or are or how. I don't know how that happens, but it does. You'll think that they're telling you to do something and they're not asking you to do it. Like, I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but my fiance does it all the time. And used to, I get so angry because I was like, are you trying to tell me what to do? And then I realized that it's just her asking me a question and not telling me something. We figured out that language barrier. So now I understand when she does that, that she's just asking something. And also, sometimes they get the word she and he mixed up. You'll think by the way they talk, they're talking about a female, but they're actually talking about a male, or vice versa. For some reason, that happens a lot too. So just be aware of that, because that can happen, and they don't mean anything about it. It's a language barrier. Number three, I think this is common with a lot of Filipinas. I've seen it very common with Filipinas. I've actually seen it common with Philippines in general. In America, a lot of us men, we tend to be very calm and collected. I actually talked with a Filipino man who used to be a counselor here, and he told me that he really admires how us American men are able to stay calm when we're angry and stay quiet and not go off on a big tangent. And I've noticed that as well, but especially with Filipinas, that they get overcome with emotion and they get angry and they start yelling and throwing stuff and all this other crazy things that I would never in my life think to do if I'm angry. And I've learned from that there's just completely different on how we deal with our anger. She gets angry and very explosive, and there have been times that she just gets so mad she takes out, I don't know why she does it, the clothes in the closet and just throws them all over the floor, or she'll throw her purse, or something like that. It's something that confuses the heck out of me. I don't know why it happens. And, and then me, I'm very, very quiet when I'm angry. I like to sit down and think, yeah, the emotions are going on, but I'm trying to process them and figure out how I'm going to deal with them and how I'm going to talk to her. Know that the way you express your anger and the way you express your emotions might be different than the way she's going to express her emotions. Just because I don't know if it's a cultural thing. I don't know if it's just a man and woman thing. It could be something as simple as that. I don't know. But what I have noticed is that Filipinos tend to have very bad temper at times. And for some reason, I don't know if they feel like they can't really control it or whatever, but they can go off. And it's not just been with my fiance, it's been with some of my exes. It's also been with other Filipinas that are part of my fiance's family or friends. I've seen that too. So I don't think it's very different, to be completely honest, with the Filipinos. I think most of them probably feel like that, but I also think that maybe a lot of Filipinos are like that too. I'm not sure. And it's only because I was told by that guy that he respects how American men can usually stay calm under a lot of anger and pressure. I don't know if it's all American men, but for me personally, I look calm, and I guess on the outside I am calm. It's about being stoic, honestly, and trying to contain yourself so you don't do something stupid, because you don't want to do something stupid. You want to remain calm and try to process things. Just know that that might be something that comes up, especially when she's angry. Number four, another one of the hardest things that I've had to deal with is all the parties and fiestas. Now, look, I love a good party. I love a good fiesta. And I'm all down for doing it from time to time, or even once a week, even. But it happens so often. It's hard to be part of that all the time, because I'll be honest, I have a very limited amount of social spending, I guess you could say, where it's hard for me to be around people all the time, every day. I mean, I really have to drink a lot to start singing and dancing, but even have to drink a little to really loosen up to talk to people. And I would say that's one of the hardest things for me, because it is fun. I love to do it, but it takes a toll on my body because I really have to drink to loosen up to do it. So it's not so much as it's a bad thing if you can handle it, but if you're like me and you kind of have that anxiety when you're around a lot of people and you have to drink or do something to loosen up, it might not be good for your body. Be careful, because I know it feels very impolite to say no to going to a birthday party or to go to a fiesta or something like that. So it does feel very polite to do that. I know. And I don't want to say no. But I also know that eventually my body and my brain is just going to explode. It's going to feel like it's going to explode. And I'm not going to feel good. And I don't want to go down that route. So know that you'll probably get invited to a lot of parties and a lot of fiestas. And they're fun, and if you can do it without taking the heavy toll of drinking like I have to in order to loosen up to talk to people, then I would suggest to do it. And to go to as many as you can within reason, as long as you're still able to do the things you got to do to take care of yourself and your family and whatnot. Number five, the last thing that I think was hard to deal with when coming here to the Philippines and being with my Filipino is this idea of Filipino time. I was kind of torn between Filipino time and her dislike for animals and my love for animals, but going with Filipino time because this one's probably more common since it's more of a cultural thing anyhow. When I go somewhere and it's scheduled at a certain time, I like to be 15 minutes early. I hate being late for anything. And of course, part of that was because of the military, but part of it was just always been because of my personality. My personality has always been that kind of person who wants to be early for everything because being late just doesn't look good. When I come here, there's a lot of people who don't take time as serious as I do. For me, time is the currency that I want. I want to spend my money on things that will help me save time because I want more time to do the things I need to do. Now, with that being said, when it comes to business meetings or when it comes to going to the doctor or whatever, if I'm scheduled at a certain time to do that, I need to get it done at that time because I feel like I'm disrespecting the business owner or I'm disrespecting the doctor. I'm disrespecting everything that they have to do after that because I said, you know what, I'm going to come up with it for time I want. If I want to come late, oh well, they'll have to deal with it. I hate that attitude. And that's something that I will be honest with you, I have not gotten over. And I've actually made it clear to my fiance if we're going somewhere and we're scheduled to be there, I will not show up late. And if it's going to be late, then I won't go. For instance, church. If she wants to go to church with me and she takes too long and she wants to wait until church has already started, I won't go. I will go at a different time and I will be there on time. I can't deal with that issue of being late. And I don't think it's okay. And I do think that it's something, at least in the business part of the Philippines, people should start to take more serious because it's just not okay to have an appointment to get your hair done at 9 o'clock and then show up at 9:15 or 9:20. Because what you're saying is that you don't care about the business owner's time. You don't care about the people who are after you. What if she has someone scheduled for 10? Now you've messed that person's schedule up. What you're basically doing is you're disrespecting a lot of people when you do that. And I don't like that. I don't think that that's okay. I think that's something that people should consider changing the culture on. Because, like it or not, time is very, very important. Time is one of the most important and precious things you have. But not just you, everyone else too. And you need to be able to respect their time as well and not just focus on yourself. That's just my 2 cents. It's something that I won't negotiate with my fiance on. If I'm going to be late, I won't go. And she knows that. I don't play around with that stuff. So those are the 5 big challenges that I've had to deal with being with a Filipina. It's not easy, but we make it through. We found ways to deal with it. And of course, there are things that I've had to compromise, just like she has too. I'm just telling you from my side what I've had to deal with and how I dealt with those problems. I'm not saying it's easy because it's not easy. It takes time and it takes patience to be able to do all that. But once you do, you'll see that it's worth it. But it's like that with every relationship, even if they're not Filipino. You're going to need to make compromises. You're going to need to talk. You're going to need to make sure you understand each other and what each of you want. Those are important things in relationship, but they're especially important in relationships that have different cultures. So my lesson today is make compromises if you have to. It's okay. Don't compromise your values. Don't compromise your morals. But if you need to make compromises on other things, as simple as budget things, or maybe you're okay with Filipino time, make compromises on that, or anything else. But as always, that's my own subjective reality of the world. I'm sure that other people have a different reality, and I'm curious to know what y'all think in the comment section below. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, maybe you see other things, maybe the things I said were problems are not really problems to you. Just let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys. And of course, as always, know that y'all are valuable and that you matter. God bless. Peace.